This month, we honor those helping to move the nation toward equality for all. It's Black History Month, and there's plenty to remember and celebrate in Hampton Roads. Tonight, 10 on Your Side's Lex Gray introduces us to Sharon McGlone, a retired Norfolk educator. As a young girl, McGlone was one of the first 7 black students to set foot in Spotsylvania County's all-white public schools. She shares her memories and tells us what still needs to change decades later.
In 1963, Sharon McGlone's bus picked her up and whisked her off to her first day at a new school.
All we were thinking about at 9 years old was who's going to be my friend.
But McGlone also knew her first day was a first for everyone, a first for history.
We knew that some of the pushback was because blacks and whites did not want blacks coming into their space.
McGlone was venturing into one of those white spaces, Robert E. Lee Elementary in Spotsylvania County.
My grandmother and other parts of the family who were very active in the NAACP knew what the law was. The law was that education should be equal.
As a military family, the McGlones saw that integrated schools on base had more resources than the all-black schools in their community. So Sharon's parents decided she would be a part of the push for equality.
They just told us what we were going to do. It wasn't like asking. You're going to go there and you're going to do well, and you're going to show that we are as smart as all the students that are there.
McGlone also believes that military background made her parents bolder.
You had an institution that had already integrated. You had that institution behind you, which was the military.
Usually, McGlone felt giddy and excited at the beginning of the year, but not that year. She remembers instead feeling isolated, singled out, and then immediately targeted by a classmate.
A teacher immediately jumped on it and said, "I will never hear that word again. It will never be spoken in this class. And she's going to sit where I tell her to sit." Okay, so 9-year-old Sharon goes and sits where she tells me to sit. Quietness. There was no conversation in those early months.
The feeling of isolation dragged on for months. Eventually, she made one white friend who offered to trade her peanut butter and banana sandwich for Sharon's fried chicken.
And I love peanut butter and banana sandwiches to this day because she stepped out. She stepped out.
Nearly 60 years later, McGlone is asking you to follow the example of that little girl.
Integration happened because of the law, not because of the heart. White people have to also realize, what role do I play? Not by being implicit that I'm not racist, but to be anti-racist, to speak out and say, we're not going to do this anymore.
Lex Gray reporting there. For more on the changes McGlone would like to see for all students, look for this story on WAVY.com.